Projected shift in law enforcement dynamics, a comprehensive report. Theme: Projected shift in law enforcement dynamics, 25% increase in collaboration across defense, cybersecurity and intelligence sectors by Q4 2025 amidst competitive landscape with international agencies adapting to new leadership structures. Date: January 30, 2025. Overview. As the global landscape evolves, a significant shift in law enforcement dynamics is anticipated by the fourth quarter of 2025. This shift is characterized by a projected 25% increase in collaboration across defense, cybersecurity, and intelligence sectors. Compounded by rising cybersecurity threats and geopolitical tensions, international agencies are also adjusting to new leadership structures, signaling a transformative period in how law enforcement operates across borders. Key findings. 1. Evolving cybersecurity landscape. The ongoing evolution of cybersecurity threats is a critical factor influencing law enforcement dynamics. Reports from BitSight and the World Economic Forum (WEF) underscore the increasing sophistication of cyber threats targeting critical infrastructure. The conflict in Ukraine, for example, has highlighted vulnerabilities in essential services, making them prime targets for cyber actors, particularly nation-state entities. 2. Artificial intelligence's dual role. Artificial intelligence (AI) plays a dual role in this new landscape. On one hand, AI enhances cybersecurity defenses by improving detection and response capabilities. On the other, it also equips cybercriminals with tools to conduct more sophisticated attacks. The WEF highlights the necessity for organizations to adapt rapidly to AI's transformative nature while also being vigilant against its exploitation by adversaries. 3. Regulatory challenges and compliance. As the regulatory environment becomes increasingly complex, organizations face mounting challenges in compliance. The WEF report points to fragmented regulations worldwide, complicating efforts for organizations striving to meet cybersecurity standards. New regulations such as the SEC rules in the US and the EU's NIS2 Directive aim to bolster accountability but also introduce compliance burdens that can overwhelm many organizations. 4. Need for enhanced collaboration. The push for collaboration among sectors is becoming more pronounced. The WEF emphasizes that a unified approach is essential for overcoming cybersecurity challenges, while BitSight notes that heightened focus on third-party risk management is crucial for safeguarding supply chains. By fostering collaboration, organizations can effectively share intelligence and resources, ultimately enhancing their resilience against cyber threats. 5. Addressing the skills gap. Both reports highlight a growing skills gap in the cybersecurity field. Nearly two-thirds of organizations report moderate to critical skills shortages, hampering effective risk management. Organizations must prioritize retraining and upskilling their teams to navigate the complexities of the evolving threat landscape, particularly those exacerbated by AI advancements. Timeline of key events. 2024, the WEF identifies significant geopolitical events, notably the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which intensifies cyber threats targeting critical infrastructure. Late 2024, the U.S. implements technology bans, including restrictions on Kaspersky, as a strategic response to national security concerns. 2025 projected anticipated increased scrutiny on cybersecurity practices driven by new regulatory frameworks like the EU's NIS2 Directive and CISA's Cyber Incident Reporting for Critical Infrastructure Act in the US. Conclusion. The projected shift in law enforcement dynamics necessitates a more integrated approach among defense, cybersecurity, and intelligence sectors. As global threats become increasingly interconnected, a collaborative strategy is imperative for effective risk management and compliance. Organizations must prioritize building resilient frameworks, enhancing regulatory adherence, and closing the skills gap to navigate this complex landscape. The adaptation of international agencies to new leadership structures will be vital in fostering cooperation and ensuring that emerging threats are addressed proactively. As we approach 2025, the integration of these sectors will be paramount in mitigating risks associated with critical infrastructure and evolving technologies. Sources Summary 1. BitSite blog discusses the challenges and trends in cybersecurity for 2025, highlighting the need for accountability and collaboration among organizations. 2. World Economic Forum report explores the implications of geopolitical tensions on cybersecurity, emphasizing the need for a security-first approach in organizations. 3. Global Cybersecurity Outlook 2025 report, produced with Accenture. This report provides insights into the complexities of the cybersecurity landscape and the necessity for collaborative risk management. This report outlines the anticipated shifts in law enforcement dynamics and emphasizes the critical need for collaboration among various sectors to navigate the evolving cybersecurity landscape effectively. The content presents a detailed projection of shifts in law enforcement dynamics, specifically highlighting a 25% increase in collaboration across defense cybersecurity and intelligence sectors by Q4 2025. This collaboration occurs against a backdrop of increasing geopolitical tensions and evolving cybersecurity threats, with various counterintuitive findings emerging from the analysis. 1. Increased risks from AI. While artificial intelligence (AI) is often viewed as a tool for enhancing cybersecurity defenses, the content identifies the paradox that it also significantly increases vulnerabilities. Attackers are leveraging AI to conduct more sophisticated attacks, which could lead to a surge in successful breaches. This duality of AI, both a shield and a sword, challenges traditional perceptions of technology's role in security. 2. Regulatory complexity enhancing risk. The narrative suggests that the proliferation of regulatory requirements, while intended to bolster security, actually complicates compliance and may introduce new vulnerabilities. Organizations may struggle to keep pace with fragmented global regulations, which can hinder their ability to implement effective cybersecurity measures. This counterintuitive relationship between regulation and security demonstrates how well-meaning policies can inadvertently create obstacles. 3. Skills gap and organizational confidence. The skill gap in cybersecurity is acknowledged as a significant challenge, with nearly two-thirds of organizations reporting moderate to critical skills shortages. Interestingly, despite this lack of confidence in their workforce, many organizations express optimism about their cybersecurity posture due to advanced technologies and increased awareness. This dissonance suggests a false sense of security that may lead to complacency in addressing fundamental skills deficits. For geopolitical tensions and cybersecurity preparedness, the content indicates that while organizations in Europe and North America exhibit some confidence in their cybersecurity preparedness, this confidence sharply declines in regions like Africa and Latin America. This disparity highlights a counterintuitive aspect of globalization. As interdependence grows, regions with lower preparedness could become systemic vulnerabilities, potentially impacting global stability. 5. Supply chain vulnerabilities. Despite the increasing awareness of supply chain risks, organizations continue to overlook third-party vulnerabilities, which remain a critical point of exposure. The paradox lies in the simultaneous growth of interconnected supply chains and the lack of visibility into these external dependencies, suggesting that as organizations become more reliant on global networks, they may be exposing themselves to greater risks. 6. Public versus private sector resilience. The report highlights a stark contrast between the resilience of public and private sectors, with public organizations reporting significantly lower confidence in their cybersecurity capabilities. This counterintuitive finding suggests that while private organizations may have more resources, they may also be less transparent about their vulnerabilities, leading to an underestimation of risks in the public sector. 7. Perception of cyber risks. The content notes that a significant portion of CEOs recognize cyber espionage and data theft as top concerns. However, the reality of ongoing cyber incidents may not align with these perceptions, creating a gap between awareness and action. The counterintuitive nature of this finding suggests that heightened awareness does not always translate into effective risk management practices. 8. Collective responsibility for cyber resilience. The conclusion emphasizes that cyber resilience should be viewed as a collective responsibility transcending individual organizational boundaries. This perspective challenges the conventional view of cybersecurity as solely an internal concern, highlighting the need for collaboration across sectors and nations to effectively mitigate risks. In summary, the projected shift in law enforcement dynamics reveals several counterintuitive insights, particularly regarding the complexities and risks associated with emerging technologies' regulatory frameworks and the interconnected nature of global cybersecurity. These findings underscore the importance of a holistic and collaborative approach to cybersecurity that addresses not only technological vulnerabilities but also organizational and geopolitical challenges. In the report projecting a 25% increase in collaboration among defense, cybersecurity, and intelligence sectors by Q4 2025, several critical insights are likely to be overlooked by the majority. Below are the significant points along with explanations of their importance. 1. The dual nature of AI in cybersecurity. While the potential of AI to enhance cybersecurity measures is often highlighted, the report emphasizes the equally pressing risk that AI poses when exploited by malicious actors. This duality suggests that organizations must not only invest in AI-driven cybersecurity solutions but also develop robust defenses against AI-enabled attacks. The significance lies in the fact that many organizations may prioritize the adoption of AI for defense without adequately preparing for its misuse by adversaries. Why it's significant: ignoring the potential for AI exploitation could lead organizations to become complacent, underestimating the sophistication of future attacks. The use of AI in phishing, for instance, can result in highly targeted and effective campaigns that bypass traditional defenses. Organizations must therefore adopt a balanced approach, enhancing their defensive capabilities while simultaneously fortifying against AI-enabled threats. 2. Cybersecurity inequity among regions and organizations. The report highlights a stark disparity in cybersecurity preparedness across different regions. With only 15% of organizations in Europe and North America lacking confidence in their country's responses to major cyber incidents, compared to 36% in Africa and 42% in Latin America. This inequity is further exacerbated by the public sector's struggles with insufficient resources and talent, as 49% of public sector organizations report a talent gap. Why it's significant: this disparity poses a systemic risk to global cybersecurity resilience. As interconnected supply chains grow, vulnerabilities in less prepared regions can have cascading effects on global operations. Companies operating in multiple jurisdictions must be aware of these inequities and develop strategies to mitigate risks stemming from weaker areas, ensuring that their supply chains remain robust against potential disruptions. 3. Third-party risk management as a key vulnerability. The report underscores the growing recognition of third-party risk management as a critical component of cybersecurity strategies. Many organizations have historically overlooked the vulnerabilities introduced by their suppliers and partners. As supply chain attacks increase, the need for visibility and intelligence regarding third-party exposure becomes paramount. Why it's significant: a focus on internal security measures alone is insufficient. Organizations must also assess and manage the risks posed by third-party vendors. Failure to do so could lead to significant breaches, as attackers often exploit the weakest link in a supply chain. This requires organizations to implement comprehensive monitoring and risk assessment protocols that extend beyond their direct operations. 4. Fragmentation of regulatory environments. The complexity and fragmentation of global cybersecurity regulations pose significant compliance challenges for organizations. The report notes that more than 76% of CISOs believe the lack of harmonization across jurisdictions complicates their ability to maintain compliance. This is compounded by the introduction of new regulations such as the EU's NIS2 Directive, which raises standards for cybersecurity practices. Why it's significant: organizations that fail to navigate this regulatory landscape risk non-compliance, which can lead to substantial penalties and reputational damage. Furthermore, disparate regulations can create confusion regarding best practices and responsibilities, making it essential for organizations to adopt a proactive approach to compliance that includes ongoing education and adaptation to regulatory changes. 5. The widening skills gap in cybersecurity. Both sources emphasize the alarming trend of a widening skills gap within the cybersecurity workforce. With 2/3 of organizations reporting moderate to critical skills gaps, the struggle to find qualified personnel is a pressing concern that could hinder effective risk management. Why it's significant: a lack of skilled professionals can lead to inadequate security measures being implemented, leaving organizations vulnerable to sophisticated attacks. The cybersecurity industry must prioritize training and development programs to cultivate talent and retain skilled workers. Additionally, organizations may need to consider innovative staffing solutions such as automation and AI to fill gaps left by the talent shortage. 6. Geopolitical tensions and their impact on cybersecurity strategy. The report indicates that nearly 60% of organizations cite geopolitical tensions as a significant influence on their cybersecurity strategy. This includes concerns over cyber espionage, loss of sensitive information, and disruption of operations. Why it's significant: organizations must recognize that cybersecurity is not only a technical challenge but also a strategic one influenced by global events. This requires cybersecurity leaders to integrate geopolitical analysis into their risk assessments and preparedness plans, allowing them to anticipate and respond effectively to evolving threats that may arise from international relations. 7. Complexity of supply chains and cyber resilience. The report highlights that the increasing complexity of supply chains introduces new vulnerabilities that can significantly impact cyber resilience. The interconnected nature of modern supply chains means that a breach at one point can have widespread implications. Why it's significant: organizations must take a holistic view of their supply chain security, ensuring that all components are secured against potential threats. This may involve implementing rigorous security assessments for all suppliers and enhancing collaboration across the supply chain to share intelligence on vulnerabilities and threats. 8. Emerging threats to operational technology (OT). The report points out that critical infrastructure systems, particularly in sectors like energy and telecommunications, are increasingly targeted by cyber threats. The focus on disrupting control systems and compromising data reveals the vulnerabilities present in legacy systems that lack modern security measures. Why it's significant: as organizations integrate more digital technologies into their OT environments, the risks associated with legacy systems must be addressed. Failing to modernize these systems or incorporate robust security measures can lead to catastrophic failures, especially as adversaries become more adept at targeting these critical systems. Conclusion: the projected shift in law enforcement dynamics and the anticipated increase in collaboration among defense, cybersecurity, and intelligence sectors reflects the complexity of the current cybersecurity landscape. The significant points highlighted above, including the dual nature of AI, the inequity in cybersecurity preparedness, and the pressing need for third-party risk management, underscore the multifaceted challenges organizations face. Addressing these overlooked aspects is crucial for enhancing resilience and effectively navigating the increasingly interconnected and perilous digital landscape. Organizations must adopt comprehensive strategies that encompass not only technical defenses but also collaborative efforts, regulatory compliance, talent development, and proactive risk management to safeguard against the evolving threats that lie ahead. 1. Cybersecurity landscape and geopolitical tensions. the evolving cybersecurity landscape, particularly in the context of geopolitical tensions such as the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, highlights the increasing sophistication and frequency of cyber threats targeting critical infrastructure. Both the BitSight and WEF reports emphasize that organizations must be proactive in addressing vulnerabilities in critical sectors like energy, healthcare, and telecommunications. The interconnected nature of these systems creates a complex risk environment that necessitates enhanced collaboration and strategic investments in cybersecurity. 2. Impact and risks of artificial intelligence (AI). The dual nature of AI is both a transformative tool for enhancing cybersecurity and a vector for sophisticated cyberattacks is a significant theme across the reports. As organizations adopt AI technologies, they must simultaneously contend with the risks posed by adversaries leveraging AI to conduct more effective and automated attacks. This necessitates a re-evaluation of security strategies to include AI-driven capabilities alongside continuous training and adaptation to the evolving threat landscape. 3. Regulatory challenges and compliance burden. The increasing complexity of regulatory environments such as the EU's NIS2 Directive and CISA Cyber Incident Reporting for Critical Infrastructure Act poses significant challenges for organizations striving for compliance. The fragmentation of regulations across jurisdictions complicates the ability to maintain uniform cybersecurity standards. Organizations must navigate these challenges by adopting holistic risk management approaches and fostering cross-border collaboration to ensure compliance and resilience. 4. Collaborative efforts and skills gap. The need for enhanced collaboration among defense, cybersecurity, and intelligence sectors is underscored as essential for addressing the multifaceted threats posed by cyber adversaries. The widening skills gap in cybersecurity creates additional challenges, with many organizations struggling to find qualified personnel to manage their cyber risks effectively. Both reports highlight the importance of partnerships and collaboration among organizations, as well as the necessity to invest in training and development to bridge this skills gap and improve overall cybersecurity posture. Famous historical cases of law enforcement collaboration. 1. The War on Drugs, 1980s-present. The War on Drugs is one of the most significant historical examples of law enforcement collaboration on an international scale. Originating in the United States in the late 20th century, this initiative involved collaboration across federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, as well as international partnerships with agencies in other countries, particularly in Latin America. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration (DEA) worked alongside Mexican authorities, Colombian police, and various international organizations to combat drug trafficking. This collaboration facilitated joint operations, intelligence sharing, and the establishment of task forces aimed at dismantling drug cartels. The impact of these efforts led to significant arrests and the disruption of drug trafficking networks. Although the overall effectiveness and consequences of the war on drugs remain controversial. 2. Interpol's role in human trafficking, 2000s-present. Interpol, the International Criminal Police Organization, has been at the forefront of global law enforcement collaboration, particularly in combating human trafficking. Initiatives such as Operation Libertera, launched in 2005, demonstrate the power of international cooperation among law enforcement agencies to address transnational crimes. This operation involved multiple countries working together to identify and rescue victims of human trafficking while arresting traffickers. The collaboration included intelligence sharing, joint training exercises, and a coordinated response to trafficking networks. The success of such operations has highlighted the importance of cross-border collaboration in tackling complex issues that transcend national boundaries. 3. The European Union's Europol, 1999-present. Established in 1999, Europol serves as the European Union's law enforcement agency, facilitating cooperation among EU member states in combating serious international crime and terrorism. Europol's establishment marked a significant shift towards more integrated law enforcement collaboration in Europe. By providing a platform for intelligence sharing, operational support, and joint investigations, Europol has played a key role in counter-terrorism efforts, cybercrime, drug trafficking, and human trafficking. Notable operations such as Operation Archimedes, which targeted organized crime in Europe, illustrate how member states work together, sharing resources and intelligence to combat threats effectively. The agency's evolving role in response to emerging threats has made it a model for international law enforcement collaboration. Future outlook: projected shift in law enforcement dynamics. Overview. By Q4 2025, a significant transformation is expected in the dynamics of law enforcement, with a projected 25% increase in collaboration across the defense, cybersecurity, and intelligence sectors. This evolution is driven by the need to address rising cybersecurity threats and geopolitical tensions, which compel international agencies to adapt to new leadership structures and methodologies. Key factors driving change. 1. Escalating cybersecurity threats. The cybersecurity landscape is rapidly evolving, with nation-state actors increasingly targeting critical infrastructure. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine exemplifies the urgency for collaborative defense strategies among law enforcement and intelligence communities globally. With healthcare, energy, and telecommunications sectors under threat, a unified response becomes paramount. 2. Artificial intelligence (AI) integration. AI technologies are reshaping the cybersecurity paradigm. While they present opportunities for enhanced threat detection and response, they also introduce new vulnerabilities. Cybercriminals are leveraging AI to execute sophisticated attacks, including automated phishing and social engineering. Law enforcement agencies will need to harness AI for their operations, necessitating collaboration to build robust defenses against AI-enabled threats. 3. Regulatory evolution. The introduction of stricter regulations such as the EU's NIS2 Directive and the US Cyber Incident Reporting for Critical Infrastructure Act will compel organizations across sectors to enhance their compliance frameworks. Law enforcement entities will need to work closely with businesses to ensure adherence to these regulations, fostering a collaborative approach to cybersecurity. 4. Skills gap and workforce development. A significant skills gap in cybersecurity remains a critical challenge. With 2/3 of organizations reporting moderate to critical skills deficiencies, law enforcement agencies will need to invest in training and workforce development. Partnerships with educational institutions and private sectors will be essential to bridge this gap and build a more capable cybersecurity workforce. 5. Geopolitical tensions and cyber espionage. Global geopolitical tensions have heightened the risk of cyber espionage. Organizations must adapt their strategies to mitigate these risks. Fostering collaboration between law enforcement and intelligence agencies to monitor and respond to potential threats effectively. This collaboration will be vital in addressing the complexities introduced by adversarial state actors. Implications for law enforcement. 1. Increased interagency collaboration. As law enforcement agencies face more complex cybersecurity challenges, enhanced collaboration across defense, cybersecurity, and intelligence sectors will become crucial. This collaboration will enable a more effective sharing of intelligence and resources, allowing for a coordinated response to cyber threats. 2. Development of joint task forces. The formation of joint task forces that include representatives from various sectors will facilitate rapid response capabilities. These task forces can address specific threats such as protecting critical infrastructure or countering organized cybercrime by pooling expertise and resources. 3. Adoption of a unified cybersecurity framework. A unified cybersecurity framework will emerge, encouraging organizations to adopt standardized practices and tools. This framework will help streamline compliance with regulations and foster collaboration among stakeholders, enhancing overall security posture. 4. Focus on public-private partnerships. Law enforcement will increasingly rely on public-private partnerships to bolster cybersecurity efforts. Collaborating with private companies can provide law enforcement with access to advanced technologies and threat intelligence, improving the effectiveness of their operations. 5. Emphasis on cyber resilience. As organizations prioritize resilience against cyber threats, law enforcement will play a critical role in promoting best practices and proactive measures. This shift towards resilience will require law enforcement to engage more deeply with the private sector to ensure preparedness and responsiveness to incidents. Conclusion: the projected 25% increase in collaboration among defense cybersecurity and intelligence sectors by Q4 2025 reflects the urgent need for a unified approach to address the complexities of modern cybersecurity threats. As geopolitical tensions continue to rise and cyber threats evolve, law enforcement agencies must adapt to new leadership structures and foster collaborative partnerships. By prioritizing joint efforts, investing in workforce development, and embracing a unified cybersecurity framework, law enforcement can effectively navigate the challenges ahead and enhance the security of critical infrastructure across nations.